Hi there, Mind the Wild. Welcome to this new channel. I'm very happy to be here and sharing this first video where I'm going to channel the spirit of spirits. That is the spirit of alcohol. And in all likelihood, you're watching this because you're familiar with my other work over at the Mondial Astral Oracles. And what came up yesterday, I was channeling Dionysus in a private session, and that was interesting, of course. And he is a very specific deity, and is of course very renewed to the ecstasy of alcohol, but ecstatic states in general. And alcohol is an interesting substance, right? I personally don't care much for it, but I do come from Denmark, which is a Central European drinking culture, right? And then they've kind of switched to drinking reds up there, but Carlsberg and Tuborg is still big business, and it is very much a binge drinking culture, much like the UK or something. People go out and get really hammered Friday, Saturday, and that's kind of their way to relieve social awkwardness and these things. And of course, alcohol has been a major influence in civilization. And it's interesting because it seems it's almost 50-50, whether it's taboo or it's almost mandatory. So of course, in Arab culture, if you go to India, it's seen as something that's highly problematic, and in other cultures, let's not name names. They're very fond of hard spirits, for instance, or beer or wine or whatever. And if you take, for instance, the bread rations in ancient Rome, they also included wine rations. Essentially, people were drunk all the time, and partially it was because it's a great way if you have drinking things that are like 2-3% alcohol content instead of water that kills off most bacteria. But it of course also is probably because people were fairly miserable. Like it's a way of getting by in life, and the culture kind of shifted. I think around 1970, I recently heard that up until 1970, the Royal Navy would still give out their rum toddy allotments to every sailor. So this idea that, keeping people good and drunk all through the day, and definitely my grandparents lived in that culture where it was just common having a few beers and, maybe what we call schnapps or aquavit, which is Latin for water of life, right? But clear spirits, that would just be very common, just staying slightly liquored up all through the day. And I think if we look at a lot of the atrocities in human history, it's probably difficult to deny that sort of the callousness or the emotional disconnection that alcohol brings is something that has likely fed into these very warlike empires and their dealings with people around the world. So I'd really like to check in with the spirit and get a feel of it and see how it explains itself, what it's about, what it's good for, and what is, let's say, the darker sides of it. So thank you for being here, and thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy the experiment. Much love. Do you feel a light-headed dizziness? Do you feel as if it's a little hard to keep your feet on the ground, as if an unsteadiness is taking hold of you? Do you feel like dancing to silly music? Might you say something stupid that you would later regret? Well, these are perhaps some of my effects, but other effects you could consider. Other effects would be such effects as merriment, such effects as keeping your boundaries low, allowing for heart to heart between you and your fellow man, sharing a lovely drink together on a warm summer's day or on a cold day of toil. In both cases, what uplifts you more than a dose of the clear old spirits? What makes you happier? What makes you burst into song? What makes you forget your woes better than getting your drink on? Well, that is a good question. Hello, friends. I am the spirit of alcohol. I am a bit woozy making. I do not work too well with those faculties of straight clear headedness. Rather, I inspire. And you may know that another word for my purified essence is indeed that they call me spirit, they call me the genie in the bottle. I release certain parts of yourself. I open up for those reaches and those regions of you that are often sheltered and boundaried off, that sit around in a shameful little nook waiting to be released. Why would you not also want to invite those to the party? Why aren't everybody allowed at the party? Why does it have to be so serious? Well, that is a good question, isn't it? And so this individual who is now allowing for my energy to speak through him, well, he was noting that perhaps I also had some effect on people, making them less caring for their fellow men. But I object. I would let you know that I indeed have much love for everybody. But this love I have is a type of fierce love. It is a love that asks for compliance with the party. What is the party? It is the gathering that we are amassing here. And so, are you invited to the party or are you left out? That is often what I do. I bond, I create strong bonds between human beings. I even often facilitate those bonds that you may use as couplings to bring forward new species of human beings. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. That is, you may find that I actually create a lot of bonding between people. And I do so by taking away their inhibitions. You know me as a disinhibitor, and you know that this influence I have, this strong influence on disinhibition, this can actually be used for a lot of beneficial purposes. Notice that if you feel you are stuck in something, if you need to write something, if you need to compose something, if you need to paint something, something similar, if you just want to express yourself a little more freely, then a good old swig of Dutch courage is exactly what you need to get yourself going, and that getting yourself going, that is what I encourage. You may also notice that I am rich in nourishment. I contain many calories, and those calories, they want to be burned. They want to bring forward activity. So that is the misuse of my essence. That is, notice that if you drink too much, you may have difficulty connecting and burning off those calories. You may have difficulty relating to other beings, but there is a beautiful threshold at which I create these relationships. I amplify them, I strengthen them, I build trust by opening people up and making them disinhibited. That is often also said that from the mouth of babes and drunk people you will hear the truth, that is certain. Notice, therefore, that I do inspire a certain element of trust in people, a certain element of openness and honesty. Those are my influences, and I am happy to lend them to anyone who wants to see them. Well, then this person who is under the influence of my spirit, bringing this forward, well, he was adding that perhaps it also seems there has been a type of shift in your culture. Well, you used to drink a lot every day, perhaps. You made yourself susceptible to my influence. You forewent your hardships by taking in a little of the old-fashioned ale, some of that merriment down at the pub, the tavern, the bodega, the club, wherever you find it, you may find that there is some pleasure to be had. But now you may sense that you are also going through a type of collective hangover. Well, the pleasure is all gone and you have grown quite serious. You feel a little queasy from the sense of connection then to wider reality. And this is often the quality of the hangover, that you have went so far into this elated, ecstatic space, this state of enthusiasm, that the dysregulation that follows is harsh. It seems like a punishment. Well, why is my head throbbing? Why do I feel like throwing up? Why am I so lethargic today? Well, essentially because you went too far. Everything comes with a sense of balance. But often, to find the perfect balance, you need to be a little imbalanced. To find your step in the dance, you need to lift your feet, perhaps even let both feet lift from the ground, and there you will find that the way that you place your feet, it will be inventive, creative, made anew. So I am also that which restores you to health, to merriment, to hope, to inspiration, which brings you back to life, to enjoyment. And therefore, do enjoy the rich taste, the rich blessings that I bring to you, that I offer. Remember that I am only an offer. I sit around happy to accommodate you. Whenever you want to dance with me, I am happy to put on a record and let the dance go on. And therefore, I will see you when I see you soon, in a moment at night, where merriment abounds. There I will be, greeting you, laughing along with you, having a gay old time. Much love and appreciation from your friend, the spirit of spirits, this alcohol that you know so well. Farewell. Oh, okay, that was very funny. As I said, I rarely drink, though I did used to drink a lot in my late teens, and so it's like feeling drunk in that way without having ingested anything that was incredibly amusing to me, and I hope I hope you enjoyed that. It took something from it, at least a smile. So have fun out there.